I'm Ruth Ballweg, and I am the director of the Maddox Northwest Physician Assistant Program, which is at the University of Washington. I am a PA, and I've been a PA since 1977 or 6 or 7, can't remember. And in my role, I also have a number of other relationships with other parts of the PA profession. I'm the Director of International Affairs for the NCCPA, for example. My general role and title is Advocate and Troublemaker for the PA profession. I think this book is a big contribution, and when I think about that, because the PA textbook was the first book that was really written by PAs for PAs, and W.B. Saunders and then Elsevier took a major risk in doing that. So having been a leader in that is exciting. Right now, I think my contributions are international. So I'm working with a number of countries about the development of the PA profession in a number of countries. One of the reasons that we wanted the book was all PA programs and all curriculum, and there were only about 50 programs at that time. We all had all this stuff we used, but we just illegally Xeroxed it, and there weren't any copyrights, and it was 20 years ago, 20 longer years ago. And so we all had always thought, wouldn't it be great to have a book that really would have everything in it? And also that just by the fact that there was a book with saying it was a PA textbook, it would add credibility to the profession. So there were 3 of us, Sherry Stolberg and Ed Sullivan and I, and we worked on this, and we decided the next step was we wanted to have authors from all around the United States. You could have just had 3 people write it, but why? There were really so many talented people from around the U.S. in PA programs. So we actually went on a retreat in Florida, and we had 3 phones, and we just started calling everybody up. And by the end of the week, we had the list of authors, most of whom were PA educators, but there were physicians and policymakers and so forth. And it was really fun to sort of start from scratch and see what would be the content you'd want in it. Who would be the authors? So many talented people. Not always good people with deadlines, I would say, but other than that. And then how could you really make this accessible? It was also, we saw the book as a way for recruiting people into the profession, because many people were and are interested in the profession, and buy the book, sort of prepare for interviews or to really understand the profession. Now we have, of course, more books about PAs, but I think, of course, the book is now in its 5th edition. It's morphed over time to meet the changing needs of the PA profession. So that's one thing. I think that its longevity and its adaptation over time, I think it's only gotten better over time. So that's another thing. I also think, as I just said, the fact that it has authors from all around the country, all different PA programs, it really gives a broad brush look at the PA profession. It's been helpful internationally, actually, not just to use as a textbook, for it to be given to licensing people or accreditation people. It gave some credibility that if you were just telling them about it, it's not the same as here's the book and here's all the pieces in it. So I think it's because of its broad brush look. There are other excellent books that are about technical skills and policy, and a lot of books about board reviews, for example. But that's not the same as really, where do you need to start from? I mean, the first chapter is my favorite chapter because I wrote it, but it's about the history of the profession. It provides the historical context. The book has changed over time. So it originally was a hardbound book for the first 2 editions. There were some minimal changes between the first and second edition. And then it moved to being a paperback book, essentially. And on the 3rd edition, then the biggest change was in the 4th edition, where we organized it to meet the competencies that the 4 PA organizations have. Everything from practice and knowledge, clinical knowledge, to health policy utilization at the last. And I think faculty programs have really liked that because it fits how their curriculum is built. The other thing is, and I don't remember now quite when it became an online book, that when you purchased it, you also had access, and I think that was with the 4th edition, as I recall.